start in the Kigali car-free zone, which is exactly that, for pedestrians and cyclists only. And we see a familiar face here, Daniel Tikla-Heimenot, former polka dot wearer in the Tour de France.
It's really great for me to be with the young Eritrean talent boys. I'm really happy to be a part of with this sport in Tour of Rwanda. I feel good, so I'm really happy with my boys, and I was wishing all the best to the left stages.
After yesterday's win, we have Ethan Vernon in the yellow jersey.
Today we have a second chance to win in a sprint. Maybe the last chance.
Yeah, I think there's maybe stage 4 as well. I think it depends how the climbing legs are, but yeah, I think maybe another a chance today. But yeah, for sure we've won already, so the pressure's off and the pressure's on the other teams to try and get a result. So.
Says the man from Hertfordshire. We have the 5 jerseys on the front row in yellow. It's Ethan Vernon. We have Jean Bosco Nsengimana there, James Fouché, Henok Muluberhan was there as well, and Emilien Janière. The teammates there for the Soudal Quickstep development team, ready for another day of defending the jersey and going for another stage win. On this course, it's 132.9 kilometers from Kigali to Gisagara district, and that's the first time in the history of the Tour of Rwanda. We have no less than 4 categorized climbs and 2 intermediate sprint as we move towards the border with Burundi. Early morning, 9:10 a.m. is the time as the flag drops and the first attacks start happening. And just like yesterday, it's the boys in pink. Yesterday it was Toby Perry, and today it's Mark Oliver Pritson for the EF Education Nippo development team. Very international team with riders from Britain, Norway, South Africa, Japan and the Czech Republic. He goes on his own, but if he glances over his shoulder, he sees in the distance that there's 3 riders trying to follow him. There they are, Jonas Kurtis in the red from Estonia, from the Tartu 2024 team, Moshe Magusha for the team from Rwanda, and Shanepo Birigama, the man from the Maystars team. Tartu 2024, the team in red, refers to the Estonian town, which will be the European capital of culture in, you guessed it, 2024. The 3 riders supporting Ethan Vernon are Gil Gelders, William Lesser and Pepijn Reinderink. One of their riders didn't take the start yesterday, so there's a lot of work done by these 3 young riders supporting Ethan Vernon and keeping that breakaway within a distance. We have 1 leader, there he is, Mark Oliver Pritson, and 2 riders from Rwanda chasing Shanepo Bigirimana and Moshe Mogisha, the man who won the King of the Mountains classification last year and won the final stage as well. Absolutely spectacular win there for Mogisha. But the points for that mountain classification go to the former South African national champion. He took the points on the climb to Ruyenzi, that was a 3rd category climb, and also on this one, the climb in Kamonji, which is a 2nd category climb. Meaning he's now at 8, and that means he is overtaking Jean Bosco Nsengimana as leader in the mountains classification. We're racing through the beautiful districts of Huye, and also a little bit later on in the stage in the district of Nyanza. And that was the former capital of the Kingdom of Rwanda back in 1958 to 1962. And if you go there, you can still visit the Palace of the King. So the situation, we still have Mark Oliver Pritson all by himself at the front since the beginning of the stage, and 2 riders from Rwanda trying to bridge across. And it looked very promising for this man from South Africa. He was actually born in Namibia, but he is a South African. He's 23, and in the beginning of the stage, it looked very promising for him. And there was also a little bit of panic in the peloton because, the gap went out to 7 minutes. And that is, of course, difficult to control if you have teams of 5 riders, or in the case of Soudal Quickstep, only 4. He is soldiering on, picking up more points here on the 2nd category climb in Nyamabuye. 4 kilometers, 6.2%. And the total elevation today is 2,300 meters. Well, and that is a sprinter stage here in the Tour of Rwanda. And another difficult factor, as Jean-Nepo Bigirimana also picks up the points here towards that King of the Mountains classification. Another difficult factor here is that a lot of the racing today takes place at 1,800 or even 1,900 meters above sea level. Counter-attack here for the last remaining point between Jean Bosco Nsengimana and the Dutchman Pepijn Rendering, and it was the Dutchman in the end who went away with that one last point. Polka dot jerseys on the side of the road cheering on the riders, including the former polka dot jersey wearer from Eritrea in the Tour de France, Daniel Tekla-Hyman. Fantastic scenes yet again today with all these people coming out to cheer on the riders. It's so amazing, and you hear all the riders on their social media really talk about the amount of people that come out to watch this race. This is the moment that Jean-Nepo Bigirimana is caught by a little bit of a chasing group. We see Moshe Mugisha there in the colours of Rwanda. Callum Orniston is part of this group as well. The man from South Africa. Bigirimana tries to join them. We have Mugisha, we have Mazengosho, but this is not an attack that really sticks, meaning that Pritsen, well, he's still all by himself at the front of the peloton, but he's really starting to suffer. There he is. The gap is down to 3 minutes at the moment. Tough day for the team with a crash taking out Toby Perry. The British rider has a broken collarbone, and the same goes for Josh Charlton, actually, of the national team from Great Britain. Also a broken collarbone for him. We had some riders who had to abandon, including Filippo Conca, who had stomach problems. Rider from Sweden, Abel Derhane of the Maystars team, and also 2 riders arriving outside of the time limit, including a teammate of this Jean-Nepo Bigirimana, Aron Simon, and 1 rider from South Africa, Alex Goedham. 28 kilometers, and the gap is coming down really, really fast now for Mark Oliver Pritsen. What a day in the saddle for this young man from South Africa. He comes away with the King of the Mountains jersey, but the moment that he will be caught by the peloton is very, very close. Great work all around. He has a jersey to wear tomorrow and a healthy lead in that classification as well. But at 26 kilometers to go in the districts of Huye, he is caught by the peloton. And that means this is the moment for some counterattacks. Because, yeah, I told you before, and we also heard it from Ethan Vernon, with such small teams here, it's really hard to control the race. Meaning Jean Bosco Nsengimana tries again. Of course, he wants those mountain points, but the last climb, is actually still 14 kilometers from where we are now. So this seems like a rather bold attack by the man who was second in that King of the Mountains classification last year. It tries to be as aero as possible within the UCI regulations, but this attack only lasts a couple of kilometers for Jean Bosco Nsengimana. Hopefully he can recover from these little intermediate attacks and go for the points again tomorrow. A little bit of silence in the peloton as we have the opportunity for another counter-attack. And that's exactly what happens. There he is, Kent Main, the number 7 of last year. We have Hendrik Fjellheim, William Junior Lesser, Victor de la Parte, Moshe Mugisha again, and also Carl Frederik Hagen in his first race for his new team, the Q36.5 Pro Cycling team. In the past, he was 8th in the Vuelta, but the rider from Norway has suffered with a lot of injuries. But luckily he's back, and he's looking forward to do a good result in this Tour of Rwanda. De la Parte is also a rider to look out for the general classification, as is youngster William Junior Lesser, who did a fantastic performance last year in the Tour de l'Avenir. The last climb, the last points go to Henok Muluberhan. They're in that jersey of African continental champion just ahead of William Bonnet of Team Total Energie. And that means that we go to a sprint. The peloton, it's far from complete, but the man in yellow, he's still here. He is the fastest, as we saw yesterday, but the finish today is slightly uphill, so you really have to time it to perfection. Great work there by the green team, Bardiani, CSF, Faisane. They work for the African champion, Henok Muluberhan. They have Filippo Fiorelli doing the lead out there. Really solid lead out train, but the final 500 meters are pretty tough. And Muluberhan tries to attack or try to sprint really, really early, but that is pretty hard. And Ethan Vernon, he's a master of timing. Already 5 professional victories. Goes right through the middle with Jeroen Meijers and Muluberhan. And in the end, it's number 2 for the man from Hertfordshire. Ethan Vernon wins again. And it looked pretty easy, although not the 3 bike lengths that we had yesterday.
Obviously, it's always the goal to win. This one was more difficult, I think. The course was hard in the final, and again we had to go on the attack the whole stage because no one decides to help. So yeah, we have to attack the whole day, or otherwise the break wins. So yeah, for sure the whole day was pretty tough, but yeah, I'm glad we got to win.
Ethan Vernon ahead of Henok Muluberhan, Jeroen Meijers, Nadav Rijsberg, Christensen, Weinberg, Joe Blackmore and Walter Calzoni in the top 8. Another yellow jersey for the man who won both stages. Tomorrow we climb a little bit more, and especially the final is 2.8 kilometers at 6%. So we might see it change